It's Sunday, May the 6th, 2018. And this is Guy's Daily Drive, yeah. Well, good morning, everybody. It's way too early for me to be out driving, though most weekends it's kind of what I've been doing. Just dropped Guy off at work, and between the conversation that we had to his job and seeing Avengers Infinity Wars last night, maybe decide I wanted to do a Guy's Daily Drive. First off, talking about Infinity Wars. I went into this movie with, I don't want to say low expectations, because, this is a movie that has been building for a while, and they took it in an interesting direction. For one thing, they have, over the course of however long these movies have been coming out, individual and team movies with like all these characters. And they have spent a lot of time and a lot of money building this universe. And Avengers Infinity Wars was supposed to be like one of the big payoffs. And for the most part, it was. All the characters weaving in and out of a story that has been told before. It's not like the story itself was super original. The special effects were just amazing. Especially and I'm not going to give spoilers here, but there's a big fight on Titan, the Moon Titan, which is pretty spectacular. The fight scene in Wakanda had its moments. There were like multiple fight scenes throughout the entire movie, which is kind of what you expect in a movie about superheroes. Very well done. I feel that got my money's worth, certainly, watching this movie, and for the amount of time that I've invested in watching all of these movies. The ending, and of course, there's going to be a sequel to this, and there has to be, just to kind of finish the story. The ending was, and I don't know what to say without more spoilers. Actually, you know what? I can't. There's really not much I can say except that it was spectacular. The ending really kind of grabbed you and held you there as the credits were starting to roll. And, again, not a big, huge surprise. If you go see this movie and the credits start to roll, don't leave the theater. Don't leave the theater. There's always that little bit more. So, having said all that, the conversation that Guy and I were having before I dropped him off, we were talking about how television, for the most part, doesn't really take chances anymore. Especially the big networks. You know, they have their favored producers, and the one example the guy was giving, and I can't necessarily disagree, was Chuck Lorre, who of course, you know, 2.5 Men, Big Bang Theory, the Kathy Bates show Weeds, which was just awful. Kathy Bates is an Academy Award-winning actress. She's, you know, won an Oscar. And this show, Weeds, is just so far below what she deserves as a professional actress. It's just terrible. I watched, I mean, it's not like I didn't try to give it a chance. When I brought Guy home from Boston, it had just come out, and I sat there in his apartment while he was at work for his, you know, his last day, and I watched like 4 episodes back to back to back. And I kept thinking, okay, this is going to get better. This is going to get better. It's going to get better. And it just never did. It was just terrible. And then I look at what happened with 2.5 Men. And it's, you know, I mean, yeah, Charlie Sheen and his basically mental breakdown due to God only knows what is going on in that dude's head. You got a gig that's paying you that much money, and you're going to crap all over the guy that created it because you're an idiot, or you're crazy, or both. So he's gone, and they bring in Ashton Kutcher, and it just, you know, and I used to watch that show a lot. I really liked that show, but it just went downhill so fast. It was like they brought in Ashton Kutcher to try to milk as many more seasons out of the show as they could, and they did. They got like 3 more seasons, I think, out of it, 3 or 4. But I stopped watching it. It was unwatchable. The storylines were just insipid and stupid, and it was like I'm not going to continue to watch a show for nostalgia factor, and I'm getting really close to that now with another Chuck Lorre show, Big Bang Theory. And I have, you know, we're going on 11 seasons. I have every single season in iTunes. I bought it. And we go back and we watch shows from the earlier seasons because they're funny. They're entertaining. I haven't laughed very much this season. And even last year, you know, it's kind of like, okay, all of the major characters, except for one, are in significant relationships, long-term relationships. It's time to just stop making this show. You know, let them go off and have their, you know, happily ever after. Just, you know, sometimes you just got to let things like that go. Something Guy had said, and it was along these lines, and how the networks never take any chances. And I thought about that, and it was like, well, some of them do. But the problem is, especially with the big networks, they create these shows, or they greenlight these shows, because the networks don't actually make television anymore. They fund other people making television for the most part. So they greenlight shows that take no chances, that basically just say, okay, well, here's our characters, and they're going to get into these little scrapes based on the environment that they're in, and blah, 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 blah. And for the most part, they're just not very good. They're the same standard comedic crap that they've thought was funny back in the Three's Company day, which wasn't funny either. But now we have Netflix, we have HBO, we have Showtime, we have Hulu, we have Amazon, we have all these companies that are greenlighting their own shows. And to be honest, a lot of them are really, really bad. They're just not interesting. But that's not the point. The point is, even the shows that aren't that good, for the most part, at least are taking some chances, are pushing the boundaries a little bit. And the shows that do go on for a while, I mean, a lot of them I either can't watch because I don't subscribe to whatever the service is, or I've watched a couple and just don't find it that interesting. However, most of these shows aren't going for the huge audience. I mean, I'm sure they would like to get bigger audiences, but they're geared towards specific audiences, because what all of these companies have found is that you don't need 50 million people tuning in on a Thursday night at 8 p.m. for a show to be popular. And between subscription services and ad paid for services and binge watching, you don't need to sit there at any given time to watch a show. You don't need to sit there and then wait for the next show to come out next week. So, these shows are built for specific targeted audiences. And for those targeted audiences, they really like these shows. So, okay, that's great. It means that they all make some money. They're all able to fund the next round of shows. And so everybody's happy. Boundaries are being pushed. Shows like Game of Thrones, Outlander, even ones that don't always work out the way you want. Jessica Jones, Power Man, Iron Fist. Those are all Netflix shows. But this is truly the golden age of television, because there is more content being pushed out now than ever before. And again, not all of it's going to be great, but enough of it is great to where the people that make the good stuff are able to make more of it, which is what we really all want. If you'd like to get a hold of me and tell me that the shows I like are crap as compared to the shows that you like that I think are crap, all you have to do is send me an email, guy@mymac.com or guy@mttfgo.com. You can also reach me on the Twitters. My Twitter handle there is MacPettit. You can catch me on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Mac to the Future Go livecast I do on Facebook. Just look for Guy Searle. Of course, I also post all that stuff up on YouTube. You can find all the stuff that I've done between Guy's Daily Drive and Mac to the Future Go, and now even some of the MyMac episodes that I do, I'm posting up on Facebook. Facebook, but YouTube. And before we go, in July, there's going to be an event called the MacStock Conference and Expo. If you've been watching, I've been talking about this so much. But the big news, that I guess I've already kind of talked about as well, is that there's a coupon code that will take $70 off the full list price of $249, called MyMac. You type in MyMac at checkout, and you'll get $70 off the full price. And so $179 for what is really shaping up to be just an amazing weekend of a whole lot of fun. So many great speakers, so much stuff to do. If you are anywhere near Chicago or if you have any interest in being part of something that is community driven, you really need to check out the MacStock Conference at expo.com. Paper just went by. It's gonna be. This is the 4th year for it, and it's shaping up to be the best year ever. So go and check that out. I think it's MacStock2018.com, MacStock Conference and Expo.com, MacStock Expo. I mean, basically any of these. Just Google MacStock Expo, and it'll come up. Trust me. So thanks again for watching. I really appreciate the fact that you guys have taken the time to watch Guy's Daily Drive. I'll see you next time, and bye-bye.